Yo, what's up guys? We're back for another breakdown and predictions video, and this week I'm going to be giving you guys the Road to UFC Shanghai episode 1 right now, which this is going to be going on I think Thursday at 10 a.m. and then there's another show directly after, like right after that one ends, so it'll be like 10 to 1 p.m. with fights, and then I believe the next day they do the same thing. So there's 4 episodes of this Road to UFC tournament. Going to give you guys a full card breakdown and predictions for this first episode. Already have a lot of predictions up for the whole weekend of fights or whole week of fights for these cards. So go to patreon.com/MMAPredictionGuru. You can see more breakdowns available currently. And I will more than likely come on here and put out more breakdown and predictions video for you guys for those fight cards. But we'll see if I have time for that. And got a few bets, so check those out. And there's some other events going on this week as well, like Fury, LFA. So there's other MMA going on besides these cards also that you could get access to bets for and make yourself some money. But let's get in this first fight of the night. We got a women's fight. We got Xiaocan Feng. She's going to be taking on Arisa Matsuda. And Feng, she's back once again. She's looking to finish the job that she started last year. She was a big favorite to win the Road to UFC tournament last year. She made it to the finals, but she was minus 410 in the finals fight, and got knocked out with the head kick and returning only 6 months after. So it's a pretty quick return, but hopefully she's confident, ready to make another run at it, and this time actually earn that UFC contract. And her opponent, Arisa Matsuda, undefeated, 30 years old, so right in her prime. She's fighting out of Japan, 6-0, and she's beaten a couple of fighters that are okay, but her resume is kind of suspect. I mean, she did beat a 4-0 fighter in 2023 to win the Deep Jewels Strawweight title, but her 2 opponents in 2024 were 0-0, and she finished them in the first round. So obviously, she did what she was supposed to versus that level of competition, but now we're going to see if those performances translate versus someone who's on her level. And you look at Matsuda, she's a grappler. She used to play basketball, so you could tell she's athletic, she's agile, she moves around, she'll feint a lot, try to be evasive, land crosses, and then time the takedowns. And her striking is getting better. She is throwing straighter 1-2, some decent kicks, but defensively she still has holes. She's low volume, and her wrestling is okay, but more upper body trip. She's not super explosive. When she can get on top, she has good back takes. I've seen her lose position when she gets the back a couple times, but she's good at keeping it flowing on the ground, staying active. She could sweep you if she ends up on bottom, and she's also gotten a few quick finishes from top position. Her cardio looks like it checks out. She's beaten wrestlers where she was getting grinded on for portions of the fight in 15-minute matches. She did get held down for nearly the entire third round in her last win. So I feel like she could have lost a couple fights that she got the victory in. And she hasn't been fighting the best opponent, so I'm not too sold on her. Her last fight was against a 16-year-old that was 0-0, so we'll see if she looks good. She also hasn't fought since November of 2023, so it's been a while since she's been in action. And for Feng, she's tall. She's actually taller than Matsuda, and I looked at Matsuda's record. She's been facing a lot of really small girls. Even though she's 5'3", I believe the tallest fighter that Matsuda has fought is 5'4", and Matsuda actually has a long reach, so her arms are long, but in this fight, Feng is going to have a 1-inch reach advantage, and she's going to have 4 inches in the height, which is something that is going to be new for Matsuda. And Feng likes to fight long too. She does a good job moving in and out of range. She'll throw long 3-2s, 2-3s. She's good at feigning the rear hand or the jabs and then coming with a big left hook. Okay kicks. She'll throw some nice head kicks at the end of her punch combinations when she can get fighters going backwards. But her head movement isn't the best, and sometimes she can staying in front of opponents, their chin high, hands down. And her last fight, she took a brutal head kick, got knocked out. She was winning the fight, and it was in the third round, so I don't know if she let her guard down or what happened, but just out of nowhere, she got clipped, and it was over. But she has decent grappling. Her takedown defense looks serviceable as well, and I think Matsuda has potential. She's athletic. She has good movement, probably a little bit faster, but she's lower volume. She's not as experienced or sharp on the feet. And I just think Feng is going to be able to win in a ho-hum striking match. I see Matsuda trying to get a couple takedowns, but I don't think she's going to get very close. And she might accept it being a stand-up fight. So I got Feng in the first one, and I'll say it's a win via decision for her. And continuing through the card, we got Wataru Yamauchi, who is a 25-year-old fighter. He's 7-1. He's fought for Shudo for most of his career, which is a famous, long-standing Japanese promotion. And he's won against experienced competition and fought for the Shudo belt. He lost that, but he's been in there and he's been fighting pretty good opponents. Has a much higher strength of schedule than his opponent, Namsrai Batbayar. And Namsrai Batbayar, he's fighting for the first time in over a year. He's 7-1, but this is by far the biggest fight of his life so far. He only has 2 wins over fighters that have more than 1 pro victory and just hasn't really beaten anybody. His one loss was to Naim Jargo Tumendembral, who is in the UFC, but you look at Batbayar, fast on the feet, he moves in and out of range, decent crosses, decent kicks. He'll slip and rip with his hands, and he mixes in some takedowns, but I don't think it seems like he has that big a power. He does have decent speed. He could flurry on you if you kind of shell up or just stand in front of him, but I think it's more that he has speed than power, and he's pretty well-rounded. He showed some grappling in his Tumendembral fight. He got the back really quickly, but Tumendembral in the second round was able to get the back himself and submit Batbayar, which I don't think is the best look because Tumendembral isn't the greatest grappler, but you could see that Batbayar has decent wrestling. He has some guillotine front chokes attacks. He can take the back, but it seems like if you get on top of him, he doesn't look that good. But his conditioning seems like it's decent. He's aggressive. He has 3 first-round wins in a row, so he's confident and looking good currently. And you look at Yamauchi, slick stand-up fighter. He throws nice front kicks, round kicks, good hands. 1-2s down the middle, 1-1-2s. He goes to the body well. Really good hand speed, good combinations. Defensively, he is hittable, and he's gotten hurt in fights, but his conditioning is good, so he tries to counteract his defense with volume, being able to recover quickly and get back in your face. But his one loss, he was winning clearly and got caught and knocked out in the third round, so the threat of him being finished is kind of there just with his style, but he was fighting someone with 11 knockout wins, so that guy obviously had power, and he just clipped him. And I've yet to see someone come with a really heavy wrestling approach against Yamauchi, and Batbayar is going to have to, I think, probably get it to the ground if he wants to win, but I see it being difficult to close the distance and actually corral Yamauchi, and I think Yamauchi should take this fight either by dominant decision or finish. He has the superior striking. He has the better resume. Batbayar is explosive, decent wrestling, but I think he's going to struggle to get it going against this caliber of fighter. On the feet, he may land some, but I don't think he has the power to put out or stop Yamauchi from pressing the action, and I don't see him keeping up with the attack and technical acumen of Yamauchi either. I predict a decision victory for Yamauchi in this matchup here against Namsrai Batbayar. And continuing on, we got Keiichiro Nakamura taking on Jin Park in this next one. And for Nakamura, 26 years old, he's a Japanese fighter. He has finished his last 5 fights in a row in the first round. And he hasn't fought great opponents, but he's handled them accordingly. And now he's getting a 9-1-1 fighter in front of him. So it's a big step up. And Jin Park, he's 23 years old. He's 9-1-1, like I just said. He's unbeaten in his last 9 fights and hasn't lost a fight since 2021. And he was active last year. He fought 4 times. He beat some guys with experience and pretty good records. So this is his first fight of 2025, but he had a good 2024, and he's young and improving. And style-wise, you look at Keiichiro Nakamura, athletic, range striker. He has a bladed stance, bounces in and out of range, good kicks. He'll dart in with crosses, counter check hooks, and good job touching with the jab, kind of frustrating you, and then when you make a mistake, coming with the hard punches behind that. And you'll try to back fighters up, feint, draw out offense, and then counter. His defense is okay, but he doesn't have much head movement. I think he's probably the sharper striker and could land counters here. But pulling him into power shots is a viable threat. And his wrestling defense is a little suspect. He's been taken down in multiple fights, Nakamura. I haven't seen Nakamura really do much on the ground. I mean, he was able to sweep one opponent and finish him with ground and pound, but he's gotten submitted and he's gotten held down in fights. So I feel like grappling him is the way to beat him. But he fights at a really good pace. Even though he has a lot of first-round finishes recently, it seems like he has good conditioning and he's a good striker. And Park, athletic grappler. Tapology has him listed at 6 foot, like you see that there, but on UFC stats, he's 5'9", and I think he probably is closer to 5'9" than 6 foot, but on the feet, he doesn't fight long anyways. He likes to close the distance with kicks or punches and bunches. He's a little hittable, but he's good at getting exchanges going and in clinching or level changing. And his wrestling is good. He's able to get the fight to the ground. He has good elbows, good knees when he gets you against the fence. And on top, he has nice elbows, short punches, solid cardio. And I just think Park is more well-rounded. I think he can mix in takedowns. He can use the clinch to win this fight. I don't know if he could finish or it's going to be a decision, but I think he can get out of, if he gets out of round 1 and just avoids getting bombed on with a power shot from Nakamura, I think he could take over the fight. And I'm going to say he wears down Nakamura and gets a late second, maybe third round finish in that fight. So give me Park. I'll say submission in round 3. And co-main event for this card, we got Shuai Yin taking on Kai Yoshida. And for Yin, he's back for take 2 on the Road to UFC show. He fought May 19, 2024 on a Road to UFC card, but lost a split decision. He bounced back with a win in July, and this is his first fight of 2025. Overall, he's an experienced fighter at 17-5, and he should be nearing his prime. He's 27 years old, but like the majority of fighters on this card, he has a padded record. He has a couple good wins mixed in there, but he is experienced. He's been a pro since 2016, and on the feet, he's southpaw. He's wild. He's aggressive. Loads up on big power hooks, overhands. Yin has solid kicks. He likes to use his left hook to counter, throw leg kicks, and darts in and out of range. I think he's a better mover than Yoshida, but Yin likes to brawl and uses speed, power, and he's going to be able to have success standing, but brawling with Yoshida I think would be a mistake, and he has to use his striking to set up his wrestling, hit the double legs, and I think he should look to backpack Yoshida, work for the finish from the back mount. Yoshida's hard to submit, so he needs to have the mindset that this could be a longer fight, but mix in the takedowns and try to control. And he also has to be alert on the feet at all times. He has much more experience than Yoshida, and he has to use that fight IQ and smarts that he's garnered throughout all those matches to have a good game plan and get the job done here. He did get knocked out in one of his losses, so I do think Yoshida has that knockout threat. And Yoshida, 25 years old, so he's a young guy, 6-1, but he's coming off his first loss. He went pro in 2023 as well, so barely been pro for more than 2 years, if that. Fought 6 times in a year and a half, so he's definitely racked up a lot of fights quick, but he beat mostly cannon fodder, and his most recent fight, he fought a 3-0 guy, and he got submitted in the first round, so that fight was in January. He's had some time to recover, but it's a little curious that they're giving him this match after a loss. I'm kind of surprised, but Yoshida's a southpaw as well. He likes to control the center, and he has nasty kicks. He'll go low and high with his kicks. He'll throw a good variety of kicks. He's there to be hit, but he tries to make you pay with the heavy counter with his hands, and he's sharp. His traditional boxing isn't good, but he can land some interesting combinations, counters from odd angles, and when you allow him to go forward and get going, he can be dangerous and land knockout shots out of nowhere. Like his last fight, he landed a spinning back fist, or his last win, a spinning back elbow, that ended the fight kind of in a fight that was really close, that could have been going either way. And Yoshida, it seems to have his grappling and wrestling defense a little bit better, but it's still a deficiency. His takedown defense and overall physicality just didn't seem to be there, and he gives his back to stand up. He does a good job hand fighting, and he has been able to reverse the back mount in a couple of his fights, but he needs to continue to work on his grappling. He got choked unconscious in the last fight, so that obviously was just another blatant reminder of him for that. But he's one of these guys that's slippery, though, and if you get his back, you can't get excited and adrenaline dump, because he is going to fight hard to scramble and be right back in your face if he does get out of that position. And I think Yoshida has a lot of holes. His grappling and wrestling are not very good. He isn't going to do well versus a fighter who can mix it up on the feet either, which I think Yin can do. And Yin's speed is going to allow him to probably land pretty often while Yoshida's looking to counter. He just can't run into anything crazy. And that's why I think he should wrestle, because it just takes away that potentiality. But I'm leaning towards Yin winning this fight via decision through his wrestling if he's smart. Should have a big edge there. And I think that he could get Yoshida to the ground probably at will. I don't know if he can't submit him early, it's probably going to go the distance. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. And Yin via decision is my prediction. And main event time, we got the only non-Asian fighter on the card with Sebastian Szalay, and he's going to be taking on Baergeng Jieleyisi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that guy's name right. Someone correct me with how to say his name. Jieleyisi. I'm not too sure. That one is hard. But 29 years old for Jieleyisi. He's 19-6. And he made it to the finals of the Road to UFC tournament last year. And he actually got to fight on a fight night card for UFC, but came up short, and the UFC didn't see enough to retain him. So therefore, he's back looking to make his way into the UFC through the Road to UFC tournament once again. And for Sebastian, this is probably his last chance. He's 31 years old, and he's representing Freestyle MMA, which is Alex Volkanovski's camp. And he's the current 145 champion in Eternal MMA, which has... that organization has produced a lot of the best guys that we've seen from Australia come over to the UFC. And most of his opponents haven't had the experience and just sheer amount of cage time as Baergeng, though. So Szalay has also had 3 fights in the Road to UFC format. So Szalay's going to have his hands full, but he's on a 6-fight winning streak. He's confident that lucky number 7 is coming at Szalay's expense. And we'll see what happens. But style-wise, Sebastian, he uses a ton of lateral side-to-side footwork. He'll dart in with straight shots. He has some tricky kicks. A lot of lead leg kicks, like question mark kicks. He has decent front kicks, round kicks. He isn't the most active kicker, but when he lets him go, you could tell he's really skillful. And on the inside, he has decent combinations. He's more of a bee stinger. I don't think he packs a lot of power, but he's accurate, sticks and moves well. His last fight, he took more of the front foot, and he was keeping the center more. He was fighting against a wrestler, so I thought it was a good switch-up. And controlled the pace, clearly won. He wasn't throwing as much. He was feigning a lot, trying to draw a lot of attacks, but I just thought he fought a smart game plan there. And he tends to improve as fights go on. He has good conditioning. His wrestling defense seems serviceable, but it's kind of difficult to gauge because he hasn't been up against super good wrestlers. But I have seen him taken down once. He used a leg lock to get up really quickly, and it seems like he has some skills on the ground. But you look at Baergeng, he's an okay striker. 1-2s, nice feints to open up the right hand, decent kicks, spin kicks, but he's slow. I think he's going to be at a massive speed disadvantage, and he's a plotter. I think he's going to struggle with that movement of Sebastian and just the striking. I think he's going to have to get in the clinch where he's strong. He has short knees, elbows. He'll push you against the cage. Pretty good grappling. He has 5 rear naked choke wins, so he's looking to get the back. He'll attack front chokes as well. Good conditioning. His last fight he lost to a wrestler, but this fight he's not going to have to worry about wrestling defense really. But ultimately, I just think that Szalay should be able to use his footwork and speed to kind of easily out-volume Jieleyisi and win a decision here. So I'm going to go with the Australian in the main event for this card. So there you have it, guys. Full card breakdown and predictions for Road UFC Episode 1 for Shanghai. Thanks for watching. Stay locked in the channel. I'm probably going to be dropping more of these videos. And peace out.